I never had any intentions of keeping the car this long, but the more and more the history of the Mustangs come out, I'm really proud to be an owner of one of these original cars. I'm the original owner of an original car of a piece of history. This is a Cobra Jet car, factory 4-speed. Everything that basically the car came from Ford with is on the car now. My brother and myself watched it come off the trailer. It was December 20th, 1970. Driver backs it off the trailer, went in, straightened everything all out with the salesman, signed the papers. Went and took it down the street, and I figured, hey, this has got a little bit of power, and I got into it a little bit, and the car shut down. I had no idea why. I walked back up to the dealership. They sent one of the top mechanics down. Came down, looked at it. He said, you know what's wrong with this? And I said, no clue. He said, you shut it down. I said, shut it down. He said, yeah, it's got a factory rev limiter on it. Car was fairly respectable. It ran like 13 4s, 5s, 107 miles an hour. With a set of tires. I know what they tell you in the magazines, and it's not really all that true if the car's done right.
My brother he used to drive a tow truck for a transmission place, or he was a repo. He picked up cars, in a tow truck, and he was driving through the neighborhood, and one of my buddies yelled out and said, hey, Don, I saw you driving a car this morning. And he says, that wasn't me. He says, I was working. So then he figured it out that I was driving the car, and I think he put an end to that. And I kind of like, wow, I had my time with the car, and that's one of the memories I've had with that car.
Got married, started a family, and of course it wasn't conducive to backseat children. So the car went in the garage and basically stayed there, and every time Ford decided they were going to come up and make another body style, I would always investigate, but I couldn't get rid of the 70. 70 stayed right where it's at. And then it, sat for 34 years, and fortunately it was inside of a garage. Yeah, I have to start with number one, and that's my wife of almost 50 years, because if it weren't for her, she would have canned the car a long time ago. And my brother Steve was instrumental when I bought the car. And Mike McGee, he was the guy that really started me on the road to getting it back together.
I called Don one night out of the blue. I said to him, do you want to get that car running? Because I knew it had been sitting for an awful long time. It survived college tuitions and families and everything else. And he said, I would really like to get that running. I said, well then, bring it down to my garage, and
took 6 months to get it back together to the point where we are now. Of course, the exhaust system was rusted through and through and through. Just looking at this, it's like amazing what they took it from and where it is now under there with the exhaust.
I'm Dave Gerard. I'm president of Pypes Exhaust, and this is one of the perks of my job, to get to work on great cars like you see behind me. A rare 70 428 Cobra Jet doesn't come by your shop every day, and I want to thank Don Schroeder for allowing us to use the car.
I just want to drive the car, and that's my plans for now. Loved a little bit of rock and roll.